Well, now to South Africa, which has been swept by disturbing attacks on foreign nationals. Some blame the attacks on a legacy of colonialism, while others say the economy is to blame. And whatever the cause, ordinary South Africans and South African residents from around the world say they are praying for the siege of violence to end. VOA's Anita Powell reports from Johannesburg.
From Johannesburg's scarred heart, a song of hope and peace. Xenophobic violence has swept the Rainbow Nation, provoking protests and clashes in the cities of Durban and Johannesburg. Hundreds of foreign nationals, most from African nations like Congo, Ethiopia, Malawi, Nigeria, Somalia, and Zimbabwe, have been displaced. Police have arrested hundreds of people, and President Jacob Zuma has appealed to his nation for peace. But on the gritty streets of the diverse Johannesburg neighborhood of Yeoville, life is a struggle for many African immigrants. Adebowale Johnson came from Nigeria a year ago and has been selling shoes on this street corner. He says he experiences discrimination daily.
They use the word, go back to your country. What are you doing here? If your country is good enough, why come in here? So I really don't understand the language. You know, it pains my heart that my fellow black people, would be, treating me that way.
Many, like these Congolese nationals who fled what they say is increasing repression under President Joseph Kabila, say they have nowhere else to go. They say they are disgusted with their adopted home.
I'm leave my country, Kabila looking, they killing me. I'm leave my country, I'm coming here. Now, Zuma looking, they killing me.
We finish on this thing. If it's a soccer things come here, Congo can't play with South Africa. We don't want this relationship because it's useless and nothing.
Religious leaders say prayer won't be enough to fix the issues driving the hateful attacks.
To us, I think it's a hatred, and because of social, economic, of unemployment that is going on in South Africa.
Jacob Mamabolo, an African National Congress official in the Johannesburg area, says his government is working to right wrongs, but they have a big job ahead of them.
To have reversed completely the legacy of colonialism that dates back to more than 300 years. And I think I'm convinced that the spread of xenophobia that we have seen, it's an isolated cases.
He's not the only one who is hopeful. Anita Powell, VOA News, Johannesburg.
Well, South Africa's influential Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini on Monday described recent anti-immigrant attacks as vile, defending himself against claims that previous comments he made about foreigners have influenced, or rather had fueled, the unrest. Zwelithini has been accused of fueling anti-immigrant unrest after local media quoted him saying foreigners should leave South Africa. He said his comments were taken out of context. And meanwhile, South Africa's security minister said on Sunday in Johannesburg that 307 suspects have been arrested for a range of xenophobic-related crimes. The government minister said the full might of the law will be brought to bear on alleged criminals involved in these attacks.
We also want to issue a stern warning to those who lend themselves to acts of public violence. We will find you, and you will be dealt with to the full might of the law. You will be arrested and sentenced accordingly.
Well, the attacks started in Durban, a port city on South Africa's east coast, but spread to the economic hub of Johannesburg. At least 7 people have been killed in the latest wave of anti-immigrant violence to hit South Africa. Well, now for more perspective, joining us live via phone from Pretoria, South Africa, is Professor Shadrack Gutto. He's the director for the Center for African Renaissance Studies at the University of South Africa. Professor Gutto, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm not a director now. I used to be, but I'm a professor at the institute. Go ahead.
So, Professor Gutto, first, there has been a lot of discussion since this started. The question is, how do you rate the response of the government this time around?
I would say dismal, too little, too late. There was really a delay because the violence started even before the Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini made the statement which he made.
Yes.
And when he made the statement, it was like putting fuel into a fire, and it exploded. So I think that we are dealing here with the question of leadership that has been in denial about the phenomena of xenophobia, but slanting towards Afrophobia. I think the clip that was, from your correspondent indicated the countries where the people who are being attacked have come from, and they are all African countries.
Yeah. Now, Professor.
There are many Europeans, white people, there are many Chinese.
Yeah.
Yes.
The question now is, how can you stop this outrage? What can the government do? What should it do?
Well, the government has to come out very strongly, which it's trying to do. But today, I think the government missed the opportunity because the king addressed a meeting of traditional leaders, and he was just trying to use semantics to avoid responsibility. The president has failed to be able to come out. Today, there was a meeting. Instead of the president talking as a president, he said he's talking as the leader of the ruling party and not the president. So I believe that we need proper leadership that will take responsibility for the country. You can't have a president who ducks and dives and says, I'm now just talking as leader of the ruling party, but not president of the country.
In a few seconds, do you see an end to this at all?
It will simmer down. It will, just as it did in 2008, but it may emerge again because unless we go to the root causes of this, which is partly mental colonialism and spiritual colonialism and so on, where people who are oppressed hate themselves rather than trying to focus on the problem of liberating themselves.
Well, Professor Gutto, thank you very much. Professor Gutto is a professor and legal expert at the University of South Africa, UNISA. Well, we want to know now what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we covered. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. Check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com.